just a boy with dreams. In the beginning, those dreams were of sports, playing basketball and baseball. But he says when he was playing baseball, he kept looking up at the clouds rather than paying attention to the plays. And so it goes. Randy Ollis became a meteorologist in 1978. He worked in Wausau, Wisconsin for a year, then Dayton, Ohio for 3 years, then on to Indy and Channel 8 in 1984. It was for morning weather, a job he almost didn't take.
You weren't sure when you started out in weather that you wanted to do mornings. You're a night guy.
I really am. I'm a night person. You can ask my wife, Allison, about that. When we were offered the job back in '84, when we started Daybreak, and we were the first station on the air with a morning newscast because of you. Wasn't it you and who else was
Ethel
it?
Micca.
Ethel Micca, that's right. You did, I think, was it an overnight newscast one year or
Because
something?
it was a bad storm.
A bad storm,
Yeah.
and you stayed on all night.
Yeah.
And because of that got the morning news going. And so I can blame you for my early schedule all these years here.
Go ahead and blame me. Everybody does.
But at any rate, it was back in '84, and I almost didn't take the job because I'm a night person. I love staying up at night, and it's hard to get up early in the morning, but I've been doing it now for 33 years.
I think it's going to work. And remember, I was part of the storm team too with you.
You were.
You, and he laughs at
No,
that.
you were a critical part of our team.
I wasn't very good.
No, you were great.
No,
yes,
no,
you were.
No.
Did you know anything about weather?
A little.
Well, you're overqualified.
Same joke, same joke.
But you were there, and Tom Magnuson
And Stan.
and Stan. Yeah, the four.
And you with all the hair.
All the hair. Yeah.
Oh
My big afro. Well, I didn't have an afro here. But
it was curly.
Yeah, more than I have now going on.
Well, something else people may not know because you've been on so long. You got fired at one point.
Thanks, but I just got over it. Now you open up the wound here. I tell you what. No, I did. It was back in '89. I had been here almost 5 years. I was gone for about 5 or 6 months. So then I came back. And,
Because there was a new general manager came in.
a lot of changes.
A lot of
taking place,
changes,
yes,
and
yes.
people were talking about you because they missed you.
Yeah, I had tremendous support.
Yes, you did.
And as I say, I didn't encourage any of this here. I always say that the God's my agent, you know. And as I said, if He wants me back in the news and weather, get me back, and He did.
And He did.
I was gone about 5 or 6 months.
And what were you doing in that time?
I right around the corner over here.
Yeah.
There used to be a Preston Safeway store, so I was working in the produce department at Preston Safeway.
I bet you were good at it.
I was, well, the second day I was there, they announced that the store was going to be shut down and sold. The second day I was there. So, but at any rate, I stuck it out for a while.
Yeah.
I'm a great cook. Ask my wife. I cook all the time, and no, I don't do any. I do no cooking at all.
You're cooking on the weather.
Well, I'm cooking on the weather. It's amazing I still have my fingers because I used to chop lettuce, you know, and everything in the produce department, but I still have my fingers here. So yeah.
So he still has his fingers, still has his old job,
Later this week, we're going to see a big blast of cold air time for the weekend.
and still has his life. Coming up, the C word rocks Randy's world as Great Day TV continues. Many happy years roll by with 4 daughters and now 3 grandbabies for Randy and his wife Allison of 37 years. But in 2017, Randy was hit hard with health issues, even battling cancer.
I'm pretty healthy normally, except last year. So last year before my cancer, it was about 2 months before that. Anyway, I had a gallbladder surgery. I had a gallstone, so I had emergency surgery the next morning on a Saturday. 4 weeks later, I had a blood clot in my leg from the surgery.
Right.
And it was 2 weeks later that I was sitting at the computer over there and I felt the lump in my neck.
But you hear the word cancer, and what went through your mind?
It was really weird. I could tear up too talking about this, but when I felt the lump in my neck, and let me just say this too, you need to get into the doctor right away because early detection can save lives. Early detection will save lives here. It was on a Monday, I went in, Doctor looked at it and he says, you know, we need to get a biopsy done. We were telling jokes in his office. I mean, he was doing a one-liner, I was doing a one-liner, and I'm sitting there thinking, what if this guy says it's cancer and we're just clowning around? So anyway, he said, give me 2 or 3 minutes to look at this under the microscope, and he did it right there in the office.
Oh my.
And it got very quiet. And he turned around and he said, you have cancer. And I thought, no, I don't. I said, you know how you just think it's always somebody else. But he said, no, you have cancer. And of course, we were both fighting the tears, and we heard that because as soon as you hear the words, you have cancer, your world is turned upside down. So I asked the doc, I said, what are my options? I said, well, what if I don't do anything? And he said, if you don't do anything, you'll be dead in a year. That's what he said. And I thought, well, that's not a good option. I didn't think that was a good option to have. So he said, however, if it's the kind of cancer that he thought it was, it's a very fast-spreading cancer. And usually the fast-spreading cancers are easier to treat. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. So I thought, okay, well, what do we do with that? I don't like the first option, you know. I'd like to be around longer than a year. But at any rate, he sent me to an oncologist, and it was the kind of cancer they thought, and it was very fast-spreading, but easy to treat. And I was very blessed for my treatment.
You had chemo?
Yep.
You had radiation?
Yes.
Randy says he's also one of the few cancer patients who gained weight while undergoing treatment. He credits friend David Barris for his donut deliveries for that. Friends and family were there for him, and also his great faith.
People say, how did you get through it? Number one, my faith. You know me, you know, and my faith is in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I've accepted him as my Savior at the age of 6 years old. He got me through my job firing. He got me through my Bell's palsy. He got me through other things. Losing CBS, you know, that was a big challenge here too, and now through my cancer. So, but it was my faith in him. It doesn't mean everything's always smooth, but it was my faith that got me through. I probably had thousands of people praying for me. Thousands. I mean, just absolutely thousands.
The good thing is you know how much people love you.
Well, I'm very blessed, very humbled. I say thank you for people out there for praying for me. That got me through. I mean, I didn't miss any work. That's amazing here. I didn't. Having a positive attitude. The second thing, not always positive. My wife's in there, they're rolling her eyes.
The wife is over
don't interview
Allison.
Don't interview Allison. Okay, just interview me.
I tried. She didn't.
She doesn't want to do it though. So anyway, positive attitude, and also the third thing I always say is the great meds we have nowadays. So it's a combination of those three that got me through.
Speaking of work, how much longer are you going to stand in front of that green screen?
You know what? Here, Mr. Barris, Dave Barris, is retired, and he says he really enjoys retirement. He's only been gone a couple of months here, but I still enjoy doing what I'm doing. I'm just about 62. So the goal is to make it to 65, and we'll see what happens then. You know, a lot of it's out of my hands, but if everything goes as scheduled, I'd like to go at least another 3 years or so.
I've known you since you came in 1984,
Yep.
and I was here in 1982. I started at Wish, and I've been through a lot too. And I will say you are not a fair weather friend. You are a true friend, and you're not to blame when you don't get the weather right.
We don't control it.
You don't.
I'm glad we don't control it. I am an extrovert,
Yes.
so I love being around people. And
But you have a demeanor that's just comforting.
You know, that's funny. When I lost my job back in '89, I was criticized for my demeanor. That's what.
Really?
Yes, that was printed in the paper because of my demeanor. That it wasn't what they wanted.
You're
Thank you.
true
I've enjoyed
blue.
working. Can I give you a hug?
If you can get out of the chair.
I'll give you. I have enjoyed you all these years, sir, so I really have.
Oh,
So
there we go.
It's been
Thank you.
really great here. I'm not retired or anything, not yet. But at any rate, you have been a true friend.
Yes.
And you have taught me a lot. Good and bad. She's taught me a lot over the years here. So
You get through it.
Yes. Still going. Okay. Surviving.
Randy Ollis has weathered it all,
You think they noticed that we're having trouble
I don't
with
know
your
if they
mic?
could tell or not. We paused for about a minute there.
giving us a smile, even when the days are dreary. Thank you, Randy. We'll be back with more on Great Day TV.